Welcome to another episode of Grizzly True Crime. My name is Gisela K, and today we're going to be looking at what Christopher and Roberta Laundrie have just filed for in the case relating to their son, Brian Laundrie. Let's get started. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you are new here, then welcome to the Grizzly community. If you want to join us over here, which is a lot of fun, all you got to do is subscribe and hit the bell. It's free, and then you're part of us. So what we're going to look at today is this link that I got sent by 2 or 3 of you Grizzlies. Samantha, I can't remember who all sent it. There's a few of you that sent me this, and thank you so much for thinking of me. SarasotAClerk.com. Without you, I wouldn't have known about this. So what we can see here, if we just look at this, on SarasotAClerk.com is what the Laundries have filed for now. And let's discuss it and let's try to think through this together, because I am not a lawyer. And I had to just look at this and be like, what's going on here? And try to decipher. You know, so as you can see, you see this little thing that says protected. You can see all the little documents on the right-hand side there. They're all protected. So we don't know exactly the details of what this whole thing is about, but we can pretty much gather. So what we can look, that sounds weird to say look forward to, but is the release of Brian Laundrie's death certificate, because they had to apply for one to do what they're doing now. So we've got Brian Laundrie listed up there. There's the case number 2021 CP 00618SC, the uniform case number, the case status open, Judge Carol Hunter, so Hunter W. Carroll, and case file date was the 8th of December 2021. Today's the 9th, so this was yesterday. Man, shame. These people, they probably think, okay, we're just going to do this privately and quietly, and it's just like, bam, everyone's on it. Anyway, so we've got Roberta Maria Laundrie, applicant, and Christopher John Laundrie, applicant. And what are they applying for? And here's an attorney, William Galarza. So who's William Galarza? Well, if we look at William Galarza's page over here, we can see that William Galarza does bankruptcy. Is that what they're filing for? No. Foreclosure defense? No. Family cases? Maybe, but that's not got to do with really criminal cases or deaths or something, as far as I can gather. Criminal cases? Oh, okay. Criminal cases, trust and estate cases, and personal injury. That's what William Galarza does. This is galarzalaw.com. We specialize in handling consumer and business bankruptcy. Interesting. Okay, so there's that. But now if we go back to that document over here, what are they filing for? The case fees. Petition for summary administration, $1,000 or more, South County. Total fee is $345. So if we look at, I just want to make sure I'm showing the right page. Hold on. There's a page that I have here for you. I just want to make sure. It's called the Petition for Summary Administration, Interstate Estate. And if the value of whatever they're filing for is $1,000 or more, they have to pay $345. There's a lower amount. That's what I was trying to find now. If the value of whatever they're trying to get their hands on is less than $1,000. So petition for summary administration, $1,000 or more, South County, $345. Waived amount, outstanding amount, and total is $345. Amount paid, $345. So they paid this amount. That's what I gather. And that is what's going on there. And then if we look here, okay, so what do we have? On the 12th of the 8th, 2021, DIN 4, description, payment, $345, receipt number, 20211033737. And then 12th of the 8th, 2021, 3, DIN 4321. 3 gives notice of designation of email. Notice of designation of email. I don't know what that means exactly. Notice of designation of email. 12th of the year 2021. 2 is death certificate, public, 1 page. All of these things are 1 page, except for there's a 4-page document. That's the final thing, which is what I've highlighted there. Petition for summary administration, $1,000 or more, South County Interstate. Now we can look at what the heck that is, because I'm like, what? The only little thing I will say is it not interesting that they use the same terminology with Brian Laundrie driving home in Gabby's van and then buying things with her money? So that's the whole forgery thing, or the fraudulent, or all that he's actually got the warrant for his arrest for. Remember, for using her cards, unauthorized access to her bank cards. And what is that about? Oh, that was for things, buying things of $1,000 or more. The value was $1,000 or more, right? So I just find it interesting. I still don't know, what did he buy for $1,000 or more besides food and gas? What did he buy? Because it's interesting that over here they're also applying to get something that he owns that's to the value of $1,000 or more. I believe the Mustang was in Roberta's name from what I've read. The other car is the dad's. So it can't really be the car unless maybe it is. Let me know if I'm wrong. But that's what I understood. And I'm like, so what is it? What are they trying to transfer into their name now that Brian Laundrie is declared dead? Oh my word, it's also interesting. So let me quickly, I'll make myself bigger for a second so that you can see me. So we're going to go and look at this one quickly. I've got all the tabs in the world open right now. Let's try to just friggin' we'll try to just there's nothing. If you type in Brian Laundrie News, there's nothing at the moment. So we've got that page. Let's do this. I'll be with you in a moment. I've got William Gallarza's LinkedIn page open as well. I'm looking at everything. So a short summary says the petition for summary administration of an interstate estate is used when the decedent passes away without a will and the value of their estate is less than $75,000. In these cases, the estate is eligible for summary administration through the probate court, but still has to enter a process to determine who should inherit the property. It can't just be crap. It's got to be something that they definitely don't want to just be like, ugh, whatever, forget about it. What is it? So curious? Let me know what your thoughts are. Okay, so if we look at this one, there's two documents I've got open here. I want to see which one is the best one to show you. They've got a very funny picture here. Hold on. I'm going to do this one. This is a very nice, informative one. In fact, let's download it so I can show it to you very nicely. PDF, here we go. So annoying. Doesn't want to show it like this. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm going to put myself over here in the corner. And what we'll do to focus, everyone. Some of you say, sit up straight when I say focus. Focus, everyone. Okay, let's look at this. Clerk of the Circuit Court and Comptroller. Summary administration, interstate, without a will. That's what we're dealing with. That's what that is, right? When to use this packet. Florida Statute 735201 and Florida Probate Rule 5.530 allow for summary administration when the value of the entire estate less the value of exempt property does not exceed $75,000 or that the decedent has been dead for more than 2 years. Okay, so he hasn't been dead for more than 2 years, so the value of the property is between $1,000 and $75,000. Okay, important note. Before you begin, you may want to inquire with the holder of the asset. For example, if the asset is a bank account, you may want to inquire with the holder of the asset. Okay, but they're dead. If the asset is a bank account, contact the bank to see what may be required for transfer. Depending on the asset and your relationship to the decedent, you may only need a death certificate. So they did apply for a death certificate, which means if they need a death certificate, I'm wondering, well, how much money did he have in his bank account? And is that their money? Do they need to get it out? What is this about? But I'm sure it's not just that. There must be something else, right? So resources for death certificates, they've got all kinds of links here for vehicles. Legal descriptions can be found at for unclaimed property, no and low cost legal assistance, Florida statutes, Florida probate rules. Here's the fees. A filing fee, $235 if the non-exempt assets are less than $1,000, or $345, which is what they paid. I'll show you again. $345, you see, that's what they paid. $345 if the non-exempt assets are $1,000 or more. You may wish to order certified copies of your orders, which are $1 per page plus $2 per document. You will need either a self-addressed stamped envelope to get your order or pay an additional 69 cents. Requirements and or other documents you will need. All yellow box items indicate documents to be filed with a clerk. If you do not have all of the requested documentation, yellow box items, you may wish to gather those documents before filing for a faster turnaround. The decedent was a resident or owned real property in Pinellas County at the time of their death. Is it the storage locker? I don't know. It's not a yellow box, but okay. A death certificate. This must be on the watermark textured paper provided by Vital Statistics or the Department of Health. You'll need an affidavit of heirship, form included to be completed by someone other than you and signed by a notary or clerk. I don't know if I should say decedent or decedent. I'm sorry. I should have, it depends. Decedent or decedent. Decedent. Deceased. Decedent. If the decedent had other children, you will need a completed and signed waiver and consent form from each of them. Had other children, so we don't need that. Not that we know of. There is one form included. You may need to print or copy more blank forms for each to complete and sign. The petition for summary administration and order of summary administration forms included in this packet. For each of the assets you are trying to obtain, you will need details and a value of it. See, that's going to be on the 4-page thing. The court needs to know exactly what it is, who has it, and what it's worth. For example, if the asset is a car, you will need the year, make, model, and VIN number, along with the valuation of it. For bank accounts, you will need the bank name, account number, and approximate value. For homestead or exempt property, you will need a petition and proposed order determining the property to be exempt. Forms included in this packet. For real estate, be sure to include the legal description of the property. You can find this at pcpao.org. For other assets, give a description of the asset, savings bond, baseball card, check payable to decedent, etc. Any policy, account, or serial number and its current market value. Formal notice and proof of service to creditors. If the decedent had any debts at the time of their death, you will need to fill out the schedule of creditors. Formal notice and proof of service forms included. You will then need to send copies of the formal notice, your petition for summary administration, petition for exempt property, and petition to determine the homestead if applicable to each creditor. You will want to send these by certified mail, return receipt requested. When the receipts are returned to you, you will attach them to the proof of service form and file it in your case. You will need to make copies of all of the forms you are submitting. You will need to send copies of each petition you are submitting to any other heirs or creditors of the decedent. You should also keep copies for yourself of all paperwork you are submitting. Here's a glossary of all the terms. Very nice. Assets, beneficiary, the case number, the claim, the creditor. Decedent, the person who has passed away. In this instance, the person whose estate you are trying to probate. Now, what estate are they trying to probate? What did Brian Laundrie have? The dude who worked at Publix, supposedly. Don't know how hard he worked there or how much he worked there, but supposedly worked there. What did he have? Domicile means a person's usual place of dwelling and should be synonymous with residence. Exempt property means the property of a decedent's estate, which is described in 732402. See also items B through E of paragraph 8 of the petition for summary administration. Heirs or heirs at law means those persons, including the surviving spouse, who are entitled under the statutes of interstate succession. So this is not a spouse situation. We've got the homestead, interstate. The decedent died without a will. So that's what happened here. Right. Petitioner. The person asking for the court for an order. So we get this. We got this. Reference number, yeah. About creditors. The people or businesses to whom the decedent owed money to must be addressed in the summary administration of the estate. You must make provision for their payment out of the non-exempt assets and serve them formal notice of the petitions for summary administration, determine homestead and determine exempt property, if any, and file proof of that service in this case. Okay. Helpful hints. Let's just see. The packet's got a waiver and a consent form. Make copies of your documents before you file them. Your petitions and orders should match. And don't forget to read the documents carefully as you fill them out. You are signing them under penalty of perjury and are responsible for any errors or omissions. Now, what will happen next? The court will review the documents you have provided and either request any documents you are missing or need correction, or they may sign the proposed order. Agencies such as the Department of Motor Vehicles and banks require a certified copy of this order to release assets or transfer the title. Plan how many certified copies you may need accordingly. Additionally, you may wish to keep one certified copy for your own records. How long does it take? That's what we want to know. It's hard to predict the court's caseload. Generally, you should have an order in 4 to 6 weeks. This should allow the allotted time to pass on the formal notice to creditors. They have 20 days from the time they receive your notice and copy of petition to object. Of course, if you did not provide all of the documents requested or did not fill out the forms correctly, whatever time it takes you to get those documents filled out or filed will add to the time it takes to get an order. You will know your case is done when you get your prepaid copies in the mail. What does it mean if I get a different order from the court? Often, when your paperwork is not filled out correctly or completely, you'll get an order checklist from the court identifying what needs correction. If you must amend a petition, simply use the same form, writing amended above the petition title, and correct or complete as necessary. If you want to view your case online, you may want to sign up to be a registered user. To do this, go to mypinellasclerk.org. Okay. I'm like, and click. Click on View Records, select the court records from the drop-down, then select Court Records Viewing Information. And that's what we have, everyone. Okay. Petition for summary administration, interstate Florida resident. Is this 4 pages? Wait. Ooh. I wonder what they filled in. Let's just have a look again. Sorry for scrolling so fast. I just want to see. Here's some forms. Petition for summary. So, petitioner alleges. Petitioner, whose name is Roberta Laundrie, has an interest in the above estate as, and whose address is. Decedent, whose name was Brian Laundrie, whose last known address was 4343 Wabasa Avenue? Or a condo from previous? I don't know. And whose social security number was, died on at Mayakahachi Environmental Creek. And the date of the death, decedent was domiciled in Pinellas County, Florida, and died interstate. So far as is known, the names of the beneficiaries of this estate, including the decedent's surviving spouse, if any, their addresses and relationship to the decedent and the year of birth of any who are minors are, don't forget to include yourself. Oh, okay. Interesting, that wouldn't really have been filled in, right? After the exercise of reasonable diligence, petitioner is unaware of any unrevoked wills or codicils of decedent. The petitioner is entitled to summary administration because, check only those boxes that apply, to the best knowledge of the petitioner, the value of the entire estate subject to administration in the state, less the value of the property exempt, does not exceed $75,000. The decedent has been dead for more than 2 years. No. Imagine. In this case, you just never know. We'll be like, what? But no. Domiciliary proceedings. Known to be pending in another state or county. Okay, the following is a complete list of the assets in this estate and their estimated values. Oh, homestead. Exempt property includes homestead property, household furniture, furnishings and appliances in the decedent's residence up to a value of $20,000, 2 motor vehicles in the decedent's name and regularly used by the decedent or members of the decedent's immediate family as their personal vehicles, all qualified tuition programs, including but not limited to the Florida Prepaid College Trust Fund, other personal property. Ooh, I wonder if it's a trust fund money. I don't know. Up to a value of $1,000. Be aware that if the property is listed, you will need to complete the petition and proposed order determining homestead for the court. Look, if you're bored of me reading this, I understand. Because for me, legal documents, I'm like, damn. But in this case, I'm like, what? I'm looking at every word. Okay, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking. And yes, it's a completely different lawyer. It's not Bertolino. I'm assuming it's because Bertolino is in New York. And this happened in Sarasota County. And Bertolino cannot get the death certificate in that county because he's not operating there. So I would assume that's why there's this new attorney. I mean, speculatively, people will say, oh my word, Bertolino was finally fired. I added finally in, was fired. They've got a new lawyer. But I think this is all about being in the correct county where you are operating, which is interesting in itself. But anyway, let me know what you think, though. I would love to hear what you think. With respect to claims of creditors, check only those boxes that apply. All claims of creditors are barred. The petitioner has made diligent search and reasonable inquiry for any known or reasonably ascertainable creditors. Oh. Okay. This is looking fine. The petition acknowledges that any known or reasonably ascertainable creditor who did not receive timely notice of this petition and for whom provision for payment was not made may enforce a timely claim, and if the creditor prevails, shall be awarded reasonable attorney's fees as an element of costs against those who join in the petition. It's proposed that all assets of the decedent listed in paragraph 8 be distributed to the following: name, property or asset, amount or share. Okay. Debt, don't know. In the 6th Judicial Circuit Court in and for Pinellas County, Florida, Probate Division, for the estate of, petition to determine the homestead status of real property. Interesting. Going through it. This is about spouses, which they weren't yet. No one was, there's not spousals involved here. We're getting there. Exempt property. If you see something that I didn't see, you let me know. Is there something that, what? In the 6th Judicial Circuit Court in in the state of still, formal notice, 2 names and addresses of who you are sending this notice to. You're notified that a petition for summary administration, petition to determine homestead status, if filed, and petition to determine exempt property has been filed in this court. Okay. Proof of service of formal notice. We're still looking good, right? Consent and waiver notice. So these are formed, but they had 4 pages. So I don't know how much of this they filled in. Of course, they'd leave out the spousal stuff. The heirs. Parents of the decedent provide name, age, and address. If deceased, provide name, indicate deceased, and if date of death. You must list all relatives of the decedent. Interesting. They're going to list them all here. Affidavit of heirs. If the relative was deceased at the time of the decedent's death, please provide the deceased relative's name, indicate deceased, and date of death. Answering with NA, not applicable, or any other designation is inappropriate for this document. If there are no other relatives for a particular category, write none. When you appropriate, you must indicate if the relationship is that of a half relative. Ooh, I would love to see this once it's available. Spouse of decedent. Cassie Laundrie. No, not spouse. That's sibling. Sorry, I'm thinking of sibling. Spouse of decedent, none. They have to write none. Decedent's former spouses, none. Children, none. Parents, Roberta Laundrie, Christopher Laundrie. Siblings, there we go. Cassie Laundrie. Siblings and descendants of the deceased siblings. You must indicate whether the relationship is that of a half relative. Okay. Grandparents. Okay, we're going to get the grandparents' names over here. Aunts and uncles. Kindred of the last deceased spouse. Only if filing interstate is not previously listed above. Okay. Under penalties of perjury, I declare that I have read the foregoing affidavit of heirs and the facts stated therein are true. Do not sign until you are in front of a clerk or notary. Oh. Signature, address, telephone, date signed, subscribed and sworn to. Great. Now, on the petition of petitioner's name for an order determining homestead status of a real property, all interested persons having been served proper notice of the petition and hearing, or having waived notice thereof, the court finds that the decedent died interstate and was domiciled in Pinellas County, Florida. The decedent was or was not survived by a spouse, was not. The decedent was or was not survived by one or more lineal descendants. At the time of death, the decedent owned and resided on the property described in the petition. It is adjudged that the following described property. Okay, I don't think he owned it. Maybe he owned the storage unit. Maybe they're talking about the storage unit. I don't know. Interesting. Let me know what you... Obviously, we can only speculate. We don't know what this is all about, but there will be a death certificate, and they're going to get some property between... Or something. By property, I mean something that is valued between $1,000 and $75,000. And they want to go through all of this to get it. So what is it? I mean, the car makes the most sense, but I've never actually seen a form of who that car is named or listed or owned by. I've just read that it's actually Roberta Laundrie's Mustang. But if it's Brian Laundrie's Mustang, that'll make sense that this is what they want. is to get the car in their name. Okay. Wow, there's a lot of paperwork. A lot of paperwork. My goodness. And that's the end of the document. We made it. Sure. So, I know that was quite long to go through a legal document. And for some of you, it would be like, what in the hell? That was so long and boring. But we had to read every word. We have to think. And I hope they release that death certificate just so we can see it. Just see the death certificate. We know the cause and manner of death. Brian Laundrie has died in the Mayakahachi Creek Environmental Park. There's a good percentage of you still don't accept that, who are like, no, he's alive. I mean, we did some polls, and I think it was like 20 or 26%. It could have been a bit more that believed he was still alive. We've done polls throughout. I mean, it was first like 60% was like, he's alive. And then it went down to like 40, and now it's like 26. But let me know what you think. It'll be very interesting. It's also interesting, there's two things we could say. They've been hiking. I said the other day on my thumbnail, Chris and Roberta Laundrie, take a hike. I said it like that, just a little bit tongue-in-cheek, only because I'm like, oh my word, Brian was like, take a hike every day. Remember, on his social media, take a hike every day. So they've been taking some hikes. They haven't been at their home much. People have said they disappear for hours and hours in the day. And yes, we could say that they're getting closure. They're going to walk through the area where their son last was and where he died. And then there's that whole conspiracy and speculation side of things, which I've seen you guys comment on, of saying they know something's out there, or he's still out there, or they're still dropping off supplies for him. That's interesting. They can't apply for a death certificate, really. If that's the case, can they? Do you know what I mean? We've got to think logically about all this. But either way, did they go there? Did they find something? Did they collect something? Did they find the keys? I don't know. But I think they're out there mostly for grieving. That's my personal opinion. But for some of you, you think they're out there doing something else. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. It's always interesting to read your thoughts. But filing for the death certificate and now trying to get something that he owns into their name is interesting. Let's see what it is. I hope maybe we'll know. Maybe we won't know. Maybe we'll never know. I would say it's either the car, I don't know, the storage locker or whatever's in it, so that they can maybe sell the house eventually. Maybe the storage unit is like it belongs to him and they can't get someone to fetch it or get rid of it or something if it's still in his name. I don't know. That's what I would assume. It could be that. Or if we went again onto a bit of a more conspiracy side, what did he buy with Gabby's money that was also $1,000 or more? He accrued things to the value of $1,000 or more. What was that? And is that what they're trying to get in their name? Because that would be quite freaking weird. Anyway, so much to think about. I just saw this and I'm like, what? So yes, that's it for now. There's so many things to update. My goodness. So many things going on in all these cases. So I'll make a separate video for that. I think this one was long enough for now. If I type in, I do this every day. I say Brian Laundrie News. Let's type it in. There's nothing in except Letitia Norris's mom slams Brian Laundrie comparisons to her daughter's boyfriend. That's what it says. Hold on. I'll get the full. Slams Brian Laundrie comparisons to her daughter's boyfriend after missing 25-year-old is found. Now, if you have looked into the Letitia Norris case, it's very interesting, the things that transpired. And I believe the parents are now being looked into. They have a long rap sheet of fraud and criminal records. And there's some speculation that Letitia wasn't really ever missing, that her mom sort of knew who she was. And I don't know. There's a whole lot. If you want me to just say the gist of it, Letitia was found by her mother and her stepfather on the Friday, like last weekend. But they didn't alert authorities. Instead, they went out drinking and partying. And then only the next day, Saturday evening, they told the police, oh yeah, Letitia's been found. Which raised a lot of red flags for everyone. And of course, it's coming up in this case, Gabby Petito's case, because Letitia Norris's mom said, my daughter is as important as Gabby Petito. But then when she found her daughter, she didn't tell anyone. It was sort of like hush-hush. And she kept the GoFundMe going, which she's still keeping going. Jennifer Koffendever, former FBI, not impressed with her at all. There's a lot going on. Go on Twitter, you'll see. The Letitia's stepfather has now been taken off Twitter because he became really abusive to a whole bunch of tweeters on there. That was interesting to watch that unfold. I was actually in Nerdy Addict's Twitter space listening in when he interviewed Amir, which is Letitia Norris's stepfather, and sure was interesting. I could say a few things there, but I'm not going to right now. I'm just like, what? And then to see how he just came unhinged afterwards and just sort of attacked everyone. That was hectic. You know, the gangster in him came out a little bit of, he's like, literally like threatening to kill people. I don't know. It was just very, very abusive and hectic, harassing, reported to the police. So there's that. And if you want to, while we're here, here is Letitia Norris. I'll show you this quickly.
We were able to get our hands on a phone, and from there I just sent her a text as the phone was about to die, letting her know that we're okay. You know, we're out here at the library downtown, and we'll call her in the morning because, you know, I wasn't expecting anything to be like this, so.
Hey, maar wat leuk dat we voor het eerst pomkakai gaan maken. Dit met...
Yes, and I want to update you about this Summer Wells video as well, but not in this video. That'll be in the next one. You know, you heard some Dutch adverts. Yes, I do not have YouTube Premium. Can you believe it? I don't have it, and I have to watch all these adverts. They're all in Dutch. It's where I get my Dutch lessons every day. Is the YouTube adverts. Well, so that is that little update. But you know what? Joe Petito has remained, Joseph Petito has remained extremely professional. He hasn't really addressed that maybe, possibly, speculatively, Letitia's mom may have used his platform incorrectly. He's just happy to share missing people and to help missing people get found, as we all are over here. And so he's continuing to share many more missing person cases on his platform, which the Gabby Petito Foundation and all of Gabby's social media pages and the one they made for Gabby Petito's Foundation is being used brilliantly to highlight other missing person cases, which I think is great. So that's fantastic. And the good news is that, yes, Letitia Norris was found alive, as we found out, so that's great. We don't want a sinister outcome. We want her to be found alive. We just don't want even the possibility to exist that someone could abuse the kind-heartedness of YouTubers, creators, people who care, people who want to spread awareness for missing people, and go find me. So that's all I can say about that. But anywho, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. If you like this video and the way that I present true crime, please hit the thumbs up. Remember to subscribe and hit the bell if you want to become part of us, a wonderful community of grizzlies. Other than that, I gotta go. I gotta go to the post office now. The post office told me, heft post, which means I've got post. And what is it? Is it a card? Is it a parcel? I don't know. I'll report back later. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.